materials you will need is a 6 by 12 long rectangle, and then you will be needing a 6 by 4 smaller rectangle. First step that you will be doing is sewing at 5/8 seam allowance the whole way down the longer rectangle. Make sure, before you begin this, make sure you have a long tail, and then at the end make sure you have a long tail. That'll help you when you're all done. And then next you want to do another basting stitch at 1/4 seam allowance. Make sure you have a long tail. Make sure you have a long tail at the end too. And this is how it should look. Stop. Next step is you have to mark the middle of each piece. So what you want to do is fold your long rectangle in half and pin it like so, and that's your middle. Then next you want to find the middle of this shorter piece, so you want to fold that in half and pin it also. And then we can stop. Then the next step you would do is find the middle of each where you pinned and put them together, and just take one pin and pin in the middle of both. Right sides together. And then next step you would do is take the top threads, either the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter, but I prefer the top of this side. You take both threads from the bottom and the top. Once you have those two top threads, you're going to pull till this side fits at the end of this brown piece, which is a shorter rectangle. And this is how it should look. Matches up at the ends. You want to do the exact same thing to the other side also. And then when you're done with one side, you want to pin it to secure when you're sewing. So it should be pinned. You want to do the exact same thing to the other side. So you want to get the top threads, top thread of that one and the top thread of this one. It might be hard to get the two threads, but once you get it, you'll get used to it. And next, you just want to do the exact same thing, is pull to make sure it all lines up in the ends, and then pin. And this is what it should look like. Make sure to pin. Okay, so now you're done with the basting and pulling and easy. Next, you want to make a figure 8 with your threads to secure them when you're sewing. Your basting threads around your pin, so you want to wrap it around, and then you take the bottom one and wrap it around like so. You want to do that to both sides. So you take the top thread and wrap it around. Like so. There's one done. And two. Then you want to pin the middle of this in between this pin and in between the middle pin and the middle pin in between the end pin. So you want to take a pin and pin it. So right there and right here. And that's how it should look like. Then you want to sew at the 5/8 seam allowance. Make sure you turn it back to a normal stitch length to 2.5 should be good. Then you want to secure the threads, secure this bottom row of threads by sewing a 5/8 seam allowance. And make sure you back stitch on this one because it's permanent. And make sure not to run over your pins because it'll break the needle. Make sure to back stitch at the ends also. Then after that you just want to cut all the threads off. You're done sewing, you want to remove the basting threads. You can either pull them out or seam them. Now that you're done sewing, you want to remove the basting threads. You can either pull them out or seam them.